Hi everyone, I wanted to make this quick video to go over HTML structure. In today's example, we're going to go over a blog post. I talk about it in my blog, but without further ado, let's jump into the editor. So you see here I've created this folder and it has an index.html page. And the main section I want to get to is the body section. That's where you're going to be writing your tags that are going to be showing up in the browser, or the content that's showing up in the browser more specifically. And really how this works is you essentially have outermost tags and then you work your way inward with more specific tags about the page. So generally you're going to start with tags that you most likely will use on a lot of different pages. So that includes this main tag right here. That is, a reference to what is the main purpose of the page. You're going to wrap that with main tags. You also, might see header tags. Lots of pages are going to have the same header. Lots of pages will have a footer. So those types of tags you can reuse multiple times. But in this case, we'll just keep it simple and use the main tag. You're also going to see as we move inward, we get a bit more specific. So we have an article tag here. What is the purpose of that? It's to specify that there's a body of content, that there's a blog post. So we're using the article tag to specify to the internet that, hey, this is a blog post and it's going to contain some content that you should check out. So that is an article tag. You also can, not necessarily use an article tag if it's not a blog post. So if you have, let's say, a contact page and you have a form, well, instead of an article, that's the main purpose of the page, it's really going to be the contact form. So more than likely, you'll use a main tag and then you'll use form tags instead to display the form within the main tags as the main purpose of the page. Maybe have a little text next to the form of explaining what the purpose of that is. But you can swap out different tags based on what's the most important purpose, or the main, what should go in the main tags. So that is us working our way inward. As we get more inward, there's going to be, we see H1, a P tag, and then some section tags. So I want to break down each of these things. So first, I want to cover headings. So with headings, you have the option of doing H1 all the way down to H6, and that's specifying importance or significance. So the H1 tags are reserved for the most important titles on the page. Often you'll just tend to use one, maybe two, but more than likely just use one H1 tag for the page of what is the purpose of this page, why should users be interested. That is generally what the H1 is for. And so in this case, this is why you should learn to code for the blog post. You also have P tags, which is throughout this section, the multiple sections here. And the P tag is just to signify a paragraph. So whenever you have a body of text that you want to wrap, use a P tag. The last item that you'll notice is the section tags. The section tag is to break up the blog post for a bit more clarity, for one, for the users reading it, and then two, for SEO crawlers. When they're trying to get your page index, an SEO crawler will have a better time of understanding what's happening on the blog post. So you'll use sections to break up content. Might not necessarily be noticed or seen by the user, but it is significant in terms of a crawler that wants to index your site. You're giving a bit more clarity for everything. So in this case, I've separated my blog post with 3 sections and then a final thought section, so 4 total. So the 3 points I make, why I learned to code, why you should learn to code, and then the final coding makes it easier to work remotely as my 3 points, and then a final section of final thoughts. So that's what I do to make a blog post a bit more specific. Not the only way to do things. It's just, the way that I do things, but you can adjust based on what you're doing, the reason. I would say you don't really necessarily, as I talk about in my blog post, you don't have to overthink it. For the most part, as long as you have some sort of structure, SEO crawlers are pretty good nowadays to understand the concept. So if you didn't have section tags, I wouldn't say that's the end of the world for the majority of people, but it is, as you start to learn about more tags, be sure to add those for the purpose that they're designed for, to, perform better overall with your page and people understanding your page. And so that essentially is HTML tags. Thanks so much for watching.